It is 12 noon on Friday, which means it's time for this week's episode of State of Real Estate. I'm John Chrismo, and the show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. What we do every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time is mastermind to grow your success, to grow your real estate business, to overall help you achieve those dreams it is that you've got set in your mind. And what we're talking about today is if you're in the right vehicle for success. And even if you're in real estate, what part of real estate are you in? So we're going to be talking about overall some life stuff, some money stuff, finances, the real estate market, and what vehicle it is that you're in. But we're not talking about the vehicle it is that you're driving. We're talking about the vehicle it is you use to generate income. So stick with us. We've got a great show for you today. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching State of Real Estate.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. I'm John Chrismo, and the show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. Checking the Instagram feed. We already got comments coming in from Instagram. We're live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Let's see here. Can't read the name, Shansafiki, whatever. What is the best way to find a mentor? So let's talk about that today as well. Best way to find a mentor. That's a great question. Thanks for commenting in. Let's see if I get your name right. Chance Fikti. I apologize if I'm butchering that. But yeah, the mentor and finding the mentor and everything, that's definitely attributing to the vehicle it's that you're in for success. And this goes on a deeper and deeper and deeper level. So let's just start off at the top level and work our way down, work our way deeper into determining whether or not you're in the right vehicle for success. And you guys got questions about anything real estate related, about your success or how to achieve your goals or anything it is that I'm talking about, put that in the comments because I've got Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of it loaded up here because I want to help you guys achieve your biggest and wildest dreams. But let's first start off what I'm talking about here. Are you in the right vehicle for success? When I say are you in the right vehicle for success, I don't mean your car. And people might have told you before, I got to have a nice car, I got to drive a nice car, so I make a good impression on people. And I'm not going to argue with that school of thought. There's two sides to that story. If you like driving a nice car, that's fine, but that should be the number one reason why you're driving a nice car, not necessarily to impress others so you can get more business. There's a lot more economical ways to get more business than just driving a nice car. But that's not what we're talking about today for are you in the right vehicle? The vehicle that we're talking about is your vessel, your body, your mind that's a part of this, and is your mind, is your body, is your life doing the things it is that is going to help you achieve the ultimate success it is that you want? So this kind of all starts back and rolls back to really defining the goal of what it is that you want to achieve. That really starts before anything else. If you don't have a goal, if you don't have a finish line in mind, if you're kind of just floating through life and just kind of taking it as it comes, and you don't have an established endpoint, and I'm not a big planner myself. I like to kind of be spontaneous about things, and I know there's a lot of you guys out there like that as well, but trust me, setting a goal, that's the first step you have to do for any time you're achieving anything. Now, whether or not you plan out the steps leading to it, just by setting that one goal alone of what that end point is that you want to achieve, of where you want to get to, that alone is going to help you at least be looking in the right direction. If you don't have that end point determined, if you don't have that end goal determined, you're just going to be looking all over and kind of walking a little this way. So no, that's not the way. Maybe go a little bit this way. No, that's not the way. This way. No, that's not the way. So you've got to determine what direction it is that you want to head and where it is that you want to go before anything else, before you can determine you're in the right vehicle, because that kind of comes secondary to understanding what it is that you want out of life. What is it that you want out of your career? What is it that you want out of anything? This concept that we're talking about today can be applied in so many different areas, whether it's money, your business, wealth, your personal life, anything like that. So again, first that comes out with defining what it is that you want and what it is you want to go for. And don't get me wrong, it is okay to change what it is that you want. If you decide that you don't really want that thing anymore, maybe you want something else, don't do that too much. And this is why you want to do a little bit of soul searching when you're really determining what it is that you want. But it is okay to kind of change pace and change gears a little bit if you determine, oh, maybe this isn't what you thought it would be. So it's okay to kind of change paces and whatnot. Just don't do it too much, because if you change nonstop, if you're constantly switching vehicles, if you're constantly switching between different goals, you're never going to achieve any of them. So it's okay to change, but just try to limit that. Try to keep it to a minimum. The less you have to change, the closer you're going to be able to achieving that first and all goal. And don't get discouraged as it starts to get rough and starts to get tough with all of that. But let's say you've got this determined of what it is that you want to achieve. So this is State of Real Estate. We're talking about real estate. And let's say that you decide, hey, I really like this idea of getting a real estate license. And that's usually your first goal when you think about a career in real estate. And really, it's the first thing that has to be achieved in order to practice real estate in Florida is you need the real estate license. You're going to be breaking the law if you don't have a real estate license. So that's kind of the first thing it is that your goal is. But then you achieve that goal. Now it's time to set new goals, to set new standards of what it is that you're going to. But kind of initially, that first little bit that you've got right there of getting your real estate license, you've got to be in the right vehicle that's going to set you up for success so you could achieve that as quick as possible. Because there's one thing that's going to absolutely slow you down and make you discouraged and make you want to change goals, to change to something out. Maybe you were really excited about getting a real estate license, but maybe the exam was just too hard for you. And look, the exam doesn't change its difficulty based on who it is that you are. So the exam is just as hard for everyone. It's you have to put yourself in the right vehicle that's going to move you towards that goal. And there's a lot of schools available for the pre-licensing course. There's a lot of courses available. Even within our school, within the Tampa School of Real Estate, you have options for obtaining your real estate license. You could do the bare minimum of just taking the course, or we've got a lot of supplemental study aids tools, and we've got a whole strategy to help you pass the exam on your first try. That obviously not just cost more money for these extra tools, but also cost more of your time to put into these tools to study it rather than just going through the bare minimum of the course. But the difference is you do these extra study tools, you put some extra time and effort into preparing for your exam, you're able to pass it on your first try. The more time and effort it is that you put into it, the more likely you're going to pass it on your first try. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about the different vehicles you have to attain your success. And we're going to talk more about, okay, now you've got your license and how the being in the right vehicle is so important as well as talk about some of the things that make it difficult for you to understand what's holding you back. Because there's a lot of things that, if you've heard the saying, you don't know what you don't know, that's super enlightening when you start to understand there's a lot of things going on that you don't know, whether it's your mentality that you have about the real estate business or whatever it is that you're doing to achieve success. So there's a lot of that going on, and the more enlightened it is you could become, the better your vehicle is going to be equipped to achieve that success. So again, going back to just that first little part, you're choosing to get your real estate license. You want to get yourself in the right vehicle for that. You want to take the best course where you're able to learn the information in the best and most engaging way, and it's really going to help you ultimately achieve that goal much faster. That's what being in the right vehicle does. It's like the difference, again, we're not talking about cars here, but it's the difference of being in some sort of like souped up NASCAR vehicle that could go 200 miles an hour, that's super reliable, versus driving some like 20-year-old car that's rusted out, the transmission doesn't really work, and the brakes are having some trouble, and it'll still eventually get you there, but you might have to stop along the way, get it patched up. It goes a little bit slower. So take that analogy of having the super speed racer car versus having the old clunky jalopy type of thing, and which one is going to get you to that finish line faster. And that's the same thing with any goal it is that you attempt. In order to achieve success with that goal, there's going to be multiple vehicles you could choose from. Some vehicles might cost more. I mean, if we're talking about the cars, it's obviously going to cost more for the souped up NASCAR vehicle, or maybe you're building it and that's just taking more time and effort. It gets a lot more elaborate when we're talking about the real world practicality of this here. But ultimately, both of them are going to get you where it is that you want to go, but which one is going to get you there the fastest? Which one there is going to take you the furthest as well into this? So that's really the first part of this if we're talking about this whole career in real estate, making sure that you're in the best course and you're the most prepared for the exam. A quick shameless plug here, check out tampaschool.com for our recommended strategy to pass your exams on your first try, as well as the best courses in Florida. It's not just me saying that. There's thousands of 5-star reviews online saying that as well. So definitely check that out if you haven't gotten your license yet. But if you have got your real estate license, let's now talk about that next vehicle. Because now, once you've attained your real estate license, okay, that's one goal you've got checked off. You went through all the steps required to get your license, okay, one goal checked off. And now, the next goal really becomes, and if we're taking this one bite at a time, and it's good to have, like I said, the one ultimate goal it is that you're looking to achieve, but there's going to be little sub-goals along the way. And I've got another questions coming in real quick from Instagram. How would you find these tools at the Tampa School Real Estate website? Go to tampaschool.com. We've got a chat system on there. They could walk you through all that stuff, or just give us a call at 813-928-0106. So thank you for giving me an opportunity to give another plug for that stuff there. But we've got all those links right at the bottom, and feel free to give us a call. We're people here. We love helping people. But let's say now you've got your real estate license. You've got your real estate license and you're trying to find the right vehicle to put yourself in to ultimately be successful, to ultimately achieve the success it is that you're looking for. So let's talk about, okay, so first thing that you're doing once you've got your license is your inactive status. So you have an inactive status of your license. So at this point, you can't do anything to make any money with an inactive status. You can't earn commission or any sort of compensation based on transactions with an inactive license. You have to have an active license or attain a broker license to be able to work independently. But with that inactive license, you'd register with a broker. So that's kind of the next thing it is, that your next goal is finding a good broker. And the brokerage that you're putting yourself in, this is a great example of the vehicles. There's a lot of brokerages out there. And there's going to be a lot of them trying to recruit you to that brokerage. And the ones that are recruiting you to their brokerage, they're usually the best ones for new agents, because if they're seeking out new agents, they probably have some systems for new agents. They probably have some training for new agents. It depends. That's kind of a blanket statement. That's not true all the way. So you've got to do your due diligence and research these different brokerage companies that you're interested in registering your license with. You research them, you interview them, you find out what programs it is, how much it's going to cost you, if they charge a commission split, if they charge some sort of monthly fee, maybe they charge both of them. Is there extra charges for their training classes? Do they even have training classes? All these kinds of questions that you're asking when you're trying to find that right vehicle. And now, like I said, you could trade in the vehicle. You're not committed with a particular brokerage. You could go, unless the brokerage is having you sign something extra, which really isn't common out there in the real estate space, at least not in the Tampa Bay area, that says you're committing to them for X amount of years. You might prepay some fees or something like that. And there's always that thing of, you learn about this in the course, but if your listings are with that broker, they stay with that broker. You don't get to take them to a new brokerage, but you're always able to jump ship, so to say, but that does kind of set you back a little bit. It ultimately might be for the greater good, because it does help you achieve maybe this new brokerage that you're finding aligns better with ultimately what your major goal is and what you're trying to achieve in the real estate industry. So, going back to all of this here, so you're doing your research, you're doing your due diligence, you're interviewing these different brokers, and you want to find the one that represents the best vehicle to help you achieve the success it is that you're looking to do. And ultimately, to understand what is success, that depends on what goal it is that you're trying to achieve. You've asked yourself the question, okay, what does success look like for me? Because this varies based on person to person. You might be the type of person that wants to be the top real estate agent, not just in Tampa, but maybe in Florida. Or maybe you're the person that wants to be the #1 agent in the entire country or the #1 agent in the entire world. Maybe you're the most ambitious person ever. That's great. Not everyone is like that. You, on the other hand, might be somebody that your definition of success is keeping your job because, maybe you love your job it is that you're doing, but you want to supplement your income. You want to have some extra money. Maybe you want to learn about real estate so you can invest in real estate. And maybe you're just looking to kind of do this part-time. You're not looking to fully kind of dive right into it. So you've got to first start out by defining what your success looks like, what it is that you're trying to achieve. And now you're comparing the vehicles. It's just like if you were buying a car. We're using this acronym of the vehicle for success. If you were going out buying cars, you would ask yourself, if you've got like 7 kids, you're not going to go buy some little 2-door convertible for your main vehicle, for your only vehicle. That might be a good vehicle for someone else that maybe doesn't have 7 kids, but hey, if you've got 7 kids, again, you've got to define what your success is, what you want what that goal is, what success looks like to you, and now you're trying to find the vehicle, the brokerage in this case here, that really helps you achieve that success. So that's what, again, and once you've defined that success, now you can kind of come up with some questions to ask the brokers. You could ask them if they maybe you're looking just to do this part-time. So you would ask them, hey, do you take part-time agents? Most brokerages will, but then on top of that, just do you take part-time agents? But on top of that, ask, okay, what do you have that will help part-time agents? Maybe they have a full-time receptionist there. And if you're able to put out advertisements with the office phone number rather than your direct phone number, that's going to be a big benefit to you as a part-time agent. So these are the things that you've got to ask yourself. And again, you've got to do some due diligence. You've got to do some research on this because, again, it goes back to you don't know what you don't know. Which, again, it's okay to kind of change brokerages. It's okay to switch things around when you find out maybe something's not working out the way you thought it would. But don't do that too much because that ultimately sets you back little by little, so you got to keep moving forward. So it's okay to have a setback if it's going to make a major increase in your business and a major increase in you achieving these goals, but ultimately keep an eye on that. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk more about being in this proper vehicle for your success. So stick with us. I'm John Christmo. You're watching State of Real Estate. Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Christmo with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
I have done for my love.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. I'm John Christman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time, we go live on YouTube, on Facebook, on our Success Center, tampaschool.com/success. And most recently, we started live streaming on Instagram. I got my buddy on here, Chance, who's been asking a couple questions on the break. So definitely make sure you subscribe to us or follow us or whatever they call it for Instagram. You can find us on all these platforms through Google or whatever it is. Just search for Tampa School of Real Estate. We've got some links down at the bottom to help you find all of our stuff as well. But again, every Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time, what we're doing is we're masterminding to grow your real estate business. This is how we give back to our students and as well as our future students. We get a lot of people tuning into this, and this is why we keep these open to the public. We have a lot of people that are interested in real estate, but again, like I said earlier, you don't know what you don't know. And this show we do on every Friday is really, whether you're a new agent or you've already got a license, maybe you're 20 years into this, I'm sure there's still some things you'll learn on these Friday masterminds we do every Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time. So make sure you subscribe, you follow us, you like us, wherever platform it is. Make sure you've got the notifications turned on wherever that allows, so that way you're able to tune in whenever it is that we have these. Best place to do that is at tampaschool.com/success. That's our Success Center. It's kind of our epicenter, our hub of all this material that we've got, not just for growing your real estate business, but also exam prep tools and all kinds of stuff like that. And if you guys got any questions on any of this stuff here, like Chance does over on Instagram, you can go ahead and put that in the comments. I got a couple comments coming in here from Facebook, so let's go ahead and check out what we've got there. David Cribbs, late earning all the time. And that's a compliment coming from David Cribbs. That's a guy I almost envy for sales. I do envy his sales skills. He's definitely got more experience on me, but he's got a couple years on me, so I still got some time to catch up. But yeah, if you guys haven't checked out David Cribbs yet, go ahead and check him out. He does a live show as well. He was actually a student of the Tampa School of Real Estate, took our pre-licensing course. I want to say this was back in like 2016 or something like that. First year in the real estate industry, he went out and made six figures. So David Cribbs was in the right vehicle for success, but then he went and actually even changed vehicles. We had him on the show maybe a couple months back now. Seems like it was yesterday, but he was talking about how he was switching from being in the builder, owner, developer world, changing his vehicle to the general real estate world, as he calls it there. So let's talk about that, and because David Cribbs is a perfect example of changing your vehicle, getting in the right vehicle for success. Now, when he got into this, and I'm sure he was probably somewhat impressed with himself, getting the six figures in his first year. That's a good year. That's a good first start for somebody just getting their real estate license. Unless maybe you've got a license in another state. But even that, moving into a new market, even if you've got a real estate business that you've been running in, let's say, California, and you move to Tampa, you're like resetting back from square one. So that's changing your vehicle as well. You're changing the method, the way, the people, any part of it that you're changing. Maybe you're still in the same car, but you've changed out the tires, the hood, and all this other stuff here, and it takes you time to start moving towards that success again. So, and me and David have talked extensively about this. At that point, he pretty much maximized what that vehicle was able to do. And we've talked about this before on these shows of what you should do once you first got your license. Should you go join a broker? Should you join an owner developer? And they're both great options, but they're options for different people. Working with an owner developer, it's a little bit more stable than being in working under a broker. Working with an owner developer, you're almost being handed business. Now you could still go out and do your own little bit of prospecting and trying to bring more business in. But the way these systems typically work, again, another blanket statement, these aren't all alike, just like all brokers aren't alike, is that they've got marketing, they've got programs to bring people that are interested in buying new homes to you, and you're kind of the salesperson in these new homes. So being that as it may, yes, it is a little bit more stable. They're kind of feeding you the business here, but there's that point where if you're relying on their system to empower you, there's limitations, and that's exactly why David switched to working under a broker. That he turned away from making over $100,000 a year to go join a broker. He changed vehicles, and yes, that change that presents a setback when you begin there, but that ultimately allows a lot further path forward. I mean, I don't know many new home sales consultants that make much more than that amount. I'm sure it is possible, but probably not much more, because at that point, again, you're a little bit more limited. Working under the owner-developer, the big thing that limits you is you're only able to work under that owner-developer. And yeah, there's probably some upward mobility available in that type of environment, but that depends if you're looking more for more like a job, or if you're looking more for building a business. Those are kind of the two different things it is that you're doing in the owner-developer world versus under a broker. So that kind of goes in with choosing that vehicle, choosing the vehicle of, okay, do I want to work under an owner-developer, have something more like a job, maybe a little bit more stability, but maybe not as much potential? Or am I looking to be under a broker where it's basically like running a business? Anytime you're running a business versus having a job, there's always more risk associated with it. And it's the same thing is true when you're comparing the owner-developer to working under a broker. There's more risk associated, but now what can you do? You can mitigate that risk. Because here are the risks that are associated when you're changing vehicles. The biggest risk is lack of knowledge. Knowledge is the one thing that sets you apart from people in this day and age. That's why they call this the information age. They call this the information age because information is the number one commodity right now. The more information it is that you have, literally the more you learn, the more it is that you could earn. But don't take that for that's a very simplistic oversimplification, because it's not just learning random stuff. It's learning things that contribute to achieving your success and achieving your goal. That's why, again, going back to square one, you have to understand what that end goal is that you want to achieve. Where is it that you want to be? And now when you're looking at what you can learn, what information it is that you could take in, you start trying to line up the information and the knowledge that's going to get you closer to that goal. You don't want to just take random information, and that's the biggest pet peeve I have about the university system in the United States, where you've got to take all these liberal arts classes where you're learning about things that have nothing to do with what it is that you want to do. I had to take biology, and I'll be honest with you guys, I had to take biology twice. I just was not a fan of biology. I had to pay twice for biology back in school, and it really came down to, if I could apply myself, I'm sure I could have really mastered that material and maybe been the best in my class, but I could care about biology. It had nothing to do with my ultimate success and my plan for success. So being in the right vehicle that helps you propel towards your success, it's going to ultimately make it where you want to seek out the information, you want to learn. Because and I did very well in classes once I got more into specific classes that helped me learn about like marketing, and marketing I was super interested in. So, I mean, for the most part, I wasn't the best student. But then when I got into taking some marketing and business management classes and things like that, I really thrived because that was information I wanted to learn. I had the motivation to learn that information. I had no motivation, zero motivation whatsoever to learn about biology and other topics that are like that. So once you've got your success defined for what it is that you want to achieve, then you're able to line up the information it is that you need. Because we're in the information age, because information, again, is the most important thing to help propel your success forward. But number two, there's so much of it out there, you need to make sure you're getting the right information. If you're interested in a career in real estate, or you've got a career in real estate and you're trying to grow your business, it doesn't make sense for you to take in information that doesn't have to deal with real estate. And this information, I mean, this could be watching TV shows or the news or things that have nothing to do with growing your business. Yeah, you could take in that information, but it's not going to help you move forward. You want to learn things that are going to propel yourself forward. So that all kind of deals with understanding the vehicle it is that you're in to achieve your success. I got another comment here on Facebook from Johnny Mashia. John, is there a study group for November I would love to attend before I set my appointment to take my state exam? Great question. I'm actually doing a review class tomorrow and Sunday. So this Saturday and Sunday, we've got a review class going on this weekend. So yeah, definitely sign up for that if you want to try to get in this weekend. Try to get your exam scheduled right after that to be most effective. We've got another couple ones coming up in December as well, so check those all out at tampaschool.com. Got another comment coming in from Instagram from Chance. Top 3 things you would look up to watch. Well, definitely go back and I can only speak for my knowledge and information. So definitely check out The State of Real Estate. We've got a lot of episodes, especially whether you're a new agent, experienced agent, we've got different shows that talk about different things. And you want to focus on, anytime I say something, hey, as a new agent, this is what you want to pay attention to. So definitely go back and watch all of that. But try to, learn something every day. And even though it may not be directly applicable, you have to find out. So one of the things I could definitely recommend as well is there's a service called Audible. I think Audible is her hearing aids. Audible is a audiobook app. It's from Amazon. I think it's like $10-15 a month. There's a couple different plans you could choose from, and you could stream audiobooks on your phone. And this is literally what I do whenever I'm driving in my car, which, being in real estate and also driving all over Tampa, I spend a lot of time in my car, so I get a lot of chances to take in information through these books here. And those books are a vehicle to help you learn more, and they're a very minimal investment for something like that. Good YouTube to watch. Definitely make sure you subscribe to the Tampa School of Real Estate YouTube. So we've got a lot of good videos on there. Some of the other people I could probably get behind. Grant Cardone's got a lot of good stuff, so definitely check that out. Check out David Cribbs. He's got a local real estate show. There's another guy I've watched a few videos of, Brian Casella. I would check him out. Let's see who else here. Joshua Smith is another guy that's got some good real estate content. What I would also look for and seek out, because I dropped a couple of names there of people it is that you could look for, but also look for interviews. I love listening to interviews of top producing real estate agents, and I love listening to what it is that they say is what contributes to them being a top producer. So definitely check that out. Real Geeks has got a pretty good YouTube channel as well, so definitely check out that one. There's a lot of good content and info on there. They do a lot of those interview types of things. I forget what they call their show, but Real Geeks is the name of the company that puts that one on. So there's a lot of stuff that's out there, so definitely check into that. And don't be afraid. I'll tell you, I like to try to finish things because I know the only way to get the success out of something is by finishing it. But there's been audiobooks before I haven't finished. There's tons of YouTube videos, because the things that become available for free, such as YouTube is a great program. It's a great platform, but there's a lot of crap out there. So if you see something that maybe it doesn't make the most sense, it doesn't align with what it is that you're trying to do, just skip it, go on to something else. So you got to do some trial and error with that type of stuff as well. But definitely check out those ones I've told you about there, because they've got a lot of good content out there that you could check out. But let's talk a little bit more about some of the choosing the vehicle. So we talked about choosing the right vehicle, the right course, the right study tools to get your license, and choosing the right vehicle once you've got your license. We talked about David Cribbs and how he went for the owner-developer, but then he maxed that out and wanted to change that a year later and go under a broker because there's a lot more potential there. So these are the vehicles that help you achieve the success it is that you're looking to gain. And again, it goes back to, first and foremost, understanding what that goal and what that success actually looks like to you, because it's different for everyone. You might want, again, to be the top agent in the world, or you might just want to make some extra money to spend extra time with your family where you don't have to work in your day job so much. So now, one of the things I do want to talk about with this here, so there's a book I've talked about before I definitely recommend. It's by Robert Kiyosaki, and it's called The Cash Flow Quadrant. So I've been through this book a few times, and it's really got a lot of information in there that's it's a lot of the things that you don't know, and that's what you always want to be seeking out, is some of the things that you don't know. But at the same time, you also need some of the things that you do know reaffirmed and put some action behind them as well. So I want to touch a little bit on this whole cash flow quadrant, as well as this whole idea of the different ways to make money. So that's what the cash flow quadrant is all about. And I'll do my best to kind of draw out a quick little sketch here. I'd bring out the whiteboard, but we're not going to use it that much. So the cash flow quadrant looks something a little like this. Hopefully you can make that out there. We've got the E, the S, the B, and the I. God, that's hard doing that with everything being backwards. So the 4 quadrants, E, S, B, and I. E standing for employee. And now these are different ways to earn money, but they take different skills for each one of these different quadrants. They take different skills, and they're overall different processes of earning money. So the E quadrant is the employee quadrant. It's the employee quadrant, and this is how most of the people on this planet earn their living. Is through the employee quadrant. And in real estate, if we're going to talk about the employee quadrant, this could be a few different things. This could be the owner-developer. It's a hybrid a little bit of the E and the S. We'll talk about what the S is in just a second. So in that, where there's more of a system already established for you, that's a little bit more when you're in the E quadrant. But if we're talking about maybe just working for some sort of hourly wage and that's all it is, no bonuses, no commissions, no anything like that, you're firmly rooted in the E quadrant. Which in the E quadrant, this is where there's the most stability and there's the most the least amount of risk. It's the most stability and the least amount of risk as an employee, but at the same time, it usually has the least amount of potential because there's not that risk there. It's overall, if you're trying to get the most out of life, it's bad to avoid risk. You don't want to avoid risk, you want to mitigate risk. And now, what are some of the risks when you're starting a real estate career or if you're trying to grow your real estate? But let's just start because the biggest risks come when you're starting something new. You're changing your vehicles. You're changing into that vehicle of maybe you're doing this for a living and you want to segue and transition into doing real estate instead because you think you really like real estate. It lines up with what your goal and what you could ultimately achieve there. So you're trying to transition into that. There's a lot of risks that are associated with that, but now you want to mitigate these risks. So the biggest risk is a lack of information because the lack of information on Wednesday we did Ask the Instructor. That's every Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Make sure you subscribe to us so you can check those out as well. But we were talking about tips for new agents, and the number one tip I had is get good training. That's the number one tip is get good training because, again, you don't realize how much it is that you don't know. I understand there's a lot of things that I don't know, but I still probably don't even realize how much it is that I don't know out in the world. Some things I don't need to know, and a lot of this you learn through experience, but experience, it's a great teacher, but it's a very harsh teacher. It's a very hard teacher. And a lot of people, it cripples their real estate business by learning through experience. By learning through experience, yes, it's a great teacher, but if you've invested $10,000 in something and you're relying on experience to tell you whether or not that's right or wrong, when you don't have the experience yet, experience is great in hindsight, but looking forward, that's where, again, you want to try to couple in the training about holding open houses, about working with buyers, about going on listing appointments, about how to get more buyers, about how to get more sellers, about how to hold better open houses, about how to market online, about how to market wherever it is that you're looking to market. There's so many classes and so many trainings that are available to help you understand and learn these things that you don't know. And you might feel pretty confident once you've gotten your real estate license, you've passed the exam, and you're out there ready to start rocking and rolling. But the Florida Real Estate Commission, they deem you what's called minimally competent. They say that you have a minimal competence once you've first gotten your real estate license for practicing real estate. And that's why they require you to register with a broker and owner developer because you're just minimally competent. They know that there's a lot of stuff that you don't know. So again, you want to seek out this knowledge, seek out the training so you don't have to rely on experience and trial and error as your teacher. So Chance asked earlier, the first comment on the show over on Instagram, he sent in, how do you find yourself a good mentor? And that was one of the other tips that I had because the mentor is meant to fill in the blanks in the training. The training training is number one, the mentor is number two. The mentor is there to help fill in the gaps that the training leaves behind for some of the more in-depth things that maybe aren't as important but are maybe holding you back from achieving something. That's where the mentor comes in. You don't want to rely solely on the mentor, because if you have a mentor where you could rely solely on for the training, that mentor is probably not the most that you can be, because it takes a lot of time and effort for them to train you. So that's where training is number one compared to that, because a good mentor shouldn't have time to mentor you. A good mentor should not have time to mentor you. Now, they might have 5 minutes here and there, a little bit of time here and there, but they're going to have to struggle to find that time if they're a good mentor. If they're a good role model for you, a good role model of success, they probably don't have much time to help you grow and develop yourself. Unless maybe you're paying for them, which that goes kind of back to training. Now you're talking about training again rather than mentoring. So the mentoring is the less accessible they are, probably the better the mentor it is that they are. So you want to rely and lean on the training to really teach you the lion's share of the information. You rely on training, and now again, the type of training it is that you choose, that's the vehicle it is that you're in. Again, there's lots of vehicles through life, and yes, you've already chosen that you want to work under a broker, you want to deal in residential real estate. And just the value of the homes, that's a vehicle in and of itself. What home value it is that you want to target between, let's say, 250 and 500,000, or maybe you want to do 750 to $1 million, or you only want to do homes over $1 million. Those are all different vehicles that all require different inputs. They all require different processes. They're going to be similar overall, but there's different things you have to do at these different levels, and some of them may be more rewarding, it may be more time consuming. This is the stuff, again, you have to figure all of these out. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking more about choosing the right vehicle, more about helping propel your real estate business forward. Stick with us. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching State of Real Estate.
Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Chrismo with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can. Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
I have been for my love.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. I'm John Chrismo. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. Every Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time, we come to you live to mastermind to grow your real estate business. Our previous students, our future students, our current students, you could all tune in to State of Real Estate to help learn more about the real estate industry, to help take your business to the next level. And what we're talking about today, it's a topic that applies in so many walks of life, and it's choosing the vehicle that's right for the success it is that you want to achieve. And so Chance submitted another good question over on Instagram, and he was asking, okay, how about investing? What do you think about an apartment complex versus a parking lot? And I really liked his question because it really kind of exemplified the different vehicles that you have. Yes, real estate investing is one large vehicle, but within that, there's a lot of different types of investment. You can invest in single-family homes, multifamily homes, parking lots, land, mobile home parks, commercial buildings, office buildings, retail plazas, shopping malls. There's so many different types of real estate investments out there, and so that's why you have to understand the vehicle it is that you're choosing to gain your success. I wouldn't try to invest in all of those different things. I would pick one type of investment that you can learn everything it is that you can about that investment and try to maximize what it is in that investment. And as you go through initially trying to choose one of these, you want to maybe choose the vehicle that maybe has the highest potential of success, that allows for the biggest potential. So that's one thing to kind of weigh in when you're trying to choose the vehicle. Going back to, let's say, if you're just practicing real estate and you're trying to weigh in between, okay, do I want to work with a broker or do I want to work with a home builder? And you're weighing in now on, okay, what that long-term success, the sky is the limit working under a broker, whereas that sky is a lot closer. It's a lot closer to the ground working under an owner-developer. It's a lot easier to jump up and touch the sky than it is working under a broker, but it's doesn't have that big as much potential in the long run with that. So that's one thing you got to do is weigh in, okay, what's that ultimate long-term look like? And this goes for the investments as well. Maybe you're looking at apartment complexes versus investing in a parking lot or a single-family home or a mobile home park or all these different types of investments, and you want to look at these and figure out, okay, this is the income, this is what it is that I'm trying to achieve out of this here. Now, which one of these can achieve that income? If you determine that maybe you want to have $100,000 a year in passive income from real estate investments, then maybe you run the numbers on doing parking lots and you realize you have to own a parking lot the size of Texas to achieve the goal it is that you want, and maybe that doesn't make sense. I'm not saying it's a bad investment, but if it's not able to achieve the goal it is that you want, then that's not one I would invest your time and energy in learning, because you're only going to get burnt out and going to get discouraged with it. Whereas let's say if you're looking at an apartment complex or something like that, if you're looking at apartments to invest in and you're doing the numbers on that and you say, okay, I'd have to own about 1,000 apartments to achieve the goal it is that I want, or maybe it's not even that high, and you run the numbers and say, okay, 1,000 apartments, that's really not too bad. So the first step is really understanding how it is that you attain that goal, and now you start learning these things that are going to help get you to that goal. You learn so what you're doing, if we're using the vehicle analogy again, you've determined, okay, I need a mid-size SUV for, again, we're using the analogy here, I need a mid-size SUV to do what it is that I need to do out of a vehicle, and then you start learning about how to operate the mid-size SUV. Maybe you pick out a particular SUV and you start, reading the owner's manual. You start learning everything it is that you can about how to properly control that vehicle. So you're choosing the vehicle. Let's say you're joining a real estate brokerage. You want to know everything that brokerage has to offer and how to maximize everything that broker offers. So not just knowing what they have to offer, but how to maximize every little bit of what that brokerage has to offer. So you understand, okay, I want to make $100,000. Let's just pick that nice round number. I want $100,000 in income. Okay, this is what I have to do to get that. We've got a great business plan calculator over on our Success Center that helps you run some of these numbers for typical types of residential sales, which residential sales is the biggest sector for the most part, where the most transactions, the highest volume of transactions occur. So we've got that business plan calculator over on our Success Center, tampaschool.com/success, where you can check out and go through and plug in all these different numbers to understand how many appointments you need to have, how many contracts you need to have, how many showings, how many leads, and all that stuff. You just plug in the numbers and you play with this so you understand, okay, I need to prospect to X amount of people, or I need to market to X amount of people. So you get to understand what the numbers are to achieve that goal, and now you ask the question, okay, does this broker have the tools that I need? And it's okay maybe if you have a broker that doesn't have the tools that you need, but you're just going to have to pay out of pocket for that. So if you've already got a commission split with your broker, or you're paying a fee to your broker, you better be getting something worthwhile out of paying that commission split or paying a fee to your broker. If you're not getting anything worthwhile out of it, that's not a good broker to be at. Unless it's a very minimal cost, the only time you should have something that's not worthwhile out of the broker is if they're charging you next to nothing for registering your license there. Then maybe it's okay that they don't have any tools for you or anything to help grow and develop your business. But when they're taking a percentage of a commission, or they're charging a fee, or maybe they're doing both of those things together, that's where you need to really understand everything it is they have to offer, and are those tools, are those trainings, are those whatever it is that they're selling you, is that going to help you achieve the success it is that you're looking to achieve? Is that going to get you to that $100,000 within the time frame it is that you specified? If it is, okay, great. Now we could start moving into these different vehicles. And chances are, if it's a good brokerage, they have a lot of training. They might have online training. They might have in-person training. They probably have all kinds of different training programs available. And there is a such thing as being overtrained, as learning too much. Information without implementation is bad. If you're not implementing the things it is that you're learning, what are you doing learning about this? Again, going back to my biology analogy, I hated biology because you're learning about, I was learning about things that I knew I wasn't going to, it was information for the sake of information, which is bad. That's the industrial age way of thinking. We're in the information age, and whatever they're going to call this next age it is that we're heading into, it's all about having the right information. And it's information that you could implement into your business or into whatever it is that you're looking to do. Maybe you're trying to save your marriage or something like that, and you want to seek out the information, but then not just seek out the information, but implement that information, because you're not going to have any effect whatsoever just by holding that information. You need to put the action behind the information to actually see some results out of that. But when we're talking about real estate or business in general, you're learning about these things, and especially real estate, because there's so much to know. That's the reason why real estate exists, is because it's a knowledge-based industry. It's an industry where you need knowledge. People are willing to pay us tens of thousands, if not hundreds of $1,000s in the form of a percentage of the sale of their property, because they need somebody that's knowledgeable, that can shepherd them and guide them through the process. So if you don't have knowledge, you absolutely need to have knowledge about the property transfer process. That's a big part of what you learn in the pre-licensing course, but it's still not comprehensive of everything you need to know, because again, there's so much to learn out in the real estate world. So you also need to seek out the knowledge of, okay, maybe for a particular type of contract. Maybe you're doing a special purpose type of sale that uses a different contract than your standard FAR bar, FAR residential contract. And so you want to get to know that contract. You want to get to know negotiating it, and really all the little parts of everything that goes on, the more knowledge it is that you have. And so let's say you've just gotten your real estate license and you're looking how to really get your first couple deals under your belt. Well, what do you need to have your first couple of contracts? You need leads. So what are the best classes to take when you first got your real estate license? Classes on how to get leads, how to get business, how to walk up to somebody randomly on the street and be able to start talking to them about real estate. And I don't mean just because this is what you do without training. You walk up to somebody, "Hi, I'm a realtor. My name is John. What's your name?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't want to talk to a realtor today." That's the trial and error method. You try that, you make an error, you refine that a little bit, you try again, you refine it a little bit, you try again. But ultimately, it's going to be a lot of failure before you find out what actually does work. It will eventually, if you stay with it long enough. Persistence is the ultimate powerhouse. Because with persistence, even when you've got training, you might have some hiccups and some bumps along the road, and you might still have a little bit of trial and error with training. In theory, the best training, there shouldn't be any trial and error, but that's the theoretical side of this. There's always going to be a little bit of trial and error, maybe something you have to hone something or say something a certain way so it fits your style, it fits the way you communicate, and so on and so forth. So ultimately, you want to, again, understand a little bit of this. Understand, okay, these are the things I should say. I should go and maybe just make some small talk and maybe practice making some small talk, and then maybe ask them out, "Oh, where do you guys live around here?" And then ultimately, they don't find out you're a realtor until you've gotten all kinds of information out of them and you've established a relationship with them. that alone. So the kind of the topic of a class on how to pick up leads just from random people it is that you meet, the overall kind of overarching theme is you don't want to kind of just come in and right away and just go right for the throat and say, here's my card, and like give them a little geez, they're gonna be turned off. They're not gonna want to talk to you. You have to first establish the relationship. Real estate is a relationship business, so that's kind of what you would learn in a class like that. Or maybe you're learning a class on marketing online to gain business. So there's a lot of ways to gain business. There's a lot of vehicles for gaining the business. So meeting people on the street, if you're relying on that vehicle, master how to operate that vehicle. Become a master linguist, a master communicator. But that's not right for everyone. You might be the type of person that's maybe a very reserved person that doesn't feel comfortable just walking up to random people. Yeah, you can maybe break that and ultimately change something like that, but you want to really kind of try to hone your best skills. You want to hone what it is that you're best at. You want to be the best at what you're best at. And the things that you're not the best at, that's my weakness. That's what I'm not good at. And if that's something that's integral to your business, maybe you learn a bit about that to start, but then once you have the opportunity, you want to try to supplement your weaknesses either through tools or people or your team at your brokerage or whatever that may be. They're supplementing your weakness while you're focusing on your strengths. So you focus on honing and improving your strengths and learning everything about it. So maybe you realize that, okay, talking to people on the street isn't my thing. And maybe you had to take the class to learn about that. Maybe you learned the class and you figured out and you understand the process and you understand how it could work, but you just choke up and you don't have a good time just walking up randomly to people on the street. That's okay. Now maybe you try out another vehicle. Sometimes it takes test driving a vehicle to understand that vehicle doesn't work for you, that doesn't work for your business. So ultimately, I hope there's some good stuff. I know there's some good stuff. I hope that you guys are able to take away some of this and implement it into your business, implement it into your life, implement it into your daily kind of routine. Like I said, you want to try to figure out what your goal is, what you're trying to achieve right now. And as you're sitting there, just think to yourself, okay, what is it that I need to do? What is it what goal is it that I'm moving forward? And if you don't know what the goal is that you're moving towards, you need to figure out a goal to move towards. And it'll make your life so much more fulfilling. It'll make you happier. It'll maybe make you sad. It'll maybe make you angry at times. But those emotions complement the other emotions. They're that passion that you have for something. I mean, yeah, you might have some, you hear people all the time saying they have a love-hate relationship. Well, passion is kind of a combination of these two extreme emotions. You maybe love practicing real estate and you hate everything that's not real estate. So you kind of see how those two emotions complement each other. They're two sides of the same coin. Or you might hate things that hold you back from achieving your goal in real estate or whatever business or industry it is that you're in. But you have to get clear on these things. You have to understand what it is that you're trying to achieve, where it is that you're heading towards, what it is that you're trying to do, and then really start finding the vehicle that's going to help move you to that success. Find the vehicle that's going to move you there the quickest. Find the vehicle that you're most comfortable with operating. Find the vehicle that you know inside and out how to operate. And I'm not talking about the car that you're driving. I'm talking about the brokerage that you choose, the neighborhood that you specialize in. If you're choosing a certain neighborhood as a farm area, that's a vehicle. And you want to be the expert, the undisputable expert of that farm area, of that neighborhood. You want to be the go-to person. So when people call you up, they know just by talking to you for a few seconds that you're the knowledgeable person in that neighborhood or in whatever vehicle it may be. Maybe we're just talking about being in residential real estate. You want people to look at you like, wow, you know everything there is to know about residential real estate. Maybe you know absolutely nothing about commercial real estate, but that's not your vehicle. You don't want to be driving all these different vehicles and only be able to half drive them. You want to really understand and know how to operate that vehicle So when it comes down to it, when you need to execute some crazy turn or do some crazy stuff, you know how to properly operate that vehicle. So like I said, it's okay to not know everything about real estate. Maybe you're specializing in residential, or maybe you're specializing in helping investors, and that's it. You maybe know nothing about these other industries or working with consumers. You want to find what your specialty is. Your niche is a word that's used commonly for that, and really go all out on that, because that niche is your vehicle. So I've got for you guys today on State of Real Estate. Make sure you tune in next Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time, as well as next Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern Time for Ask the Instructor. We do these live. Go to tampaschool.com/success. Drop your email in there. You'll get notified whenever it is that we do go live, so you don't miss out on any of these mastermind sessions. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. Thank you for sharing, liking, and commenting, and chatting with us today. Had fun doing today's episode. Hope you did as well. I'll see you guys next week. Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Chrisma with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
I have been for my love.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate.